Another pleasant start this morning, but this afternoon it starts to warm up and become a bit more humid. I'll show you how close we'll be to record highs this weekend.
Massive Venezuela earthquakes. Right now, crews are sifting through the rubble of collapsed buildings, searching for missing people. What we're learning here in the WRAL Life Center about the latest on this devastation.
Tracking the drought. Today, we will get an update on our widespread dry conditions. Why the recent rainfall hasn't been enough to turn the situation around.
Well, thanks for joining us here on this Thursday morning as we are waking up with actually nice, comfortable conditions outside. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. New day, new stories, plenty to talk about. Let's get right to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with how it's feeling out there. And I like the tolerable level. We can do that for sure.
Hey, we'll take it. It's better than steamy and tropical. But yesterday we were down at comfy, so it's starting to creep up, sitting right there at 63. That's the dew point. That's the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. We do have some high thin clouds out this morning. It looks gray here as we're looking through downtown Raleigh, but we have thin clouds, sunshine coming up, looking really pretty. We look down toward the Capitol building, still have their Canes banner up. 63 is our dew point, of course, and 68 is our temperature. So still feeling comfortable. Temperatures are in the 50s in our northern counties, 61 in Southern Pines, 63 in Goldsboro. So that still feels good. We're in the mid 80s by lunchtime, but that was our high yesterday, and we'll keep on moving into the low 90s this afternoon. So feeling more summer-like today. We have a minimal chance for rain today, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a good chance of scattered storms. We'll talk about our severe weather threat for the weekend coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, checking the morning commute. Boy, traffic beginning to pick up on all of our major routes, including I-40 as we look live at I-40 at Carytown Boulevard. Even though traffic is picking up just a bit, it's still flowing nicely in all directions on I-40 and all the other major routes as well. And we're not picking up any delays whatsoever coming into Raleigh, whether you're coming in from Knightdale or Wake Forest or even the Garner-Johnston County area. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center, staying on top of the devastation out of Venezuela, where a 7.2 and 7.5 earthquake hit the capital or near the capital of Caracas. Right now, we have a live look of some of the devastation and the aftermath from those quakes, where crews are now sifting through the rubble here, searching for missing people. We know at least 32 people have died so far. Meanwhile, in the last 5 minutes, we just received new information from the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the United States is now sending emergency assistance to Venezuela following the quakes. He says that they will immediately deploy search and rescue teams, medical resources, and humanitarian assistance to Venezuela. He says our hearts are with all of those who have lost loved ones. We're going to continue to follow this story here in the WRAL Live Center.
Laura, thank you. Today, we will learn more about how recent rainfall has affected drought conditions across our area. Part of the triangle is under exceptional drought conditions, which is the highest level of concern. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at Falls Lake this morning. Kelsey, it was really good to see that rain in June, but we're going to need a whole lot more to see improvement.
Yes, Renee, we've actually seen the most rain this month than we've seen in the rest of the spring. So that is some good news, but we're not really expecting to see any of that progress in today's drought monitor. But to show just how dry these conditions are, check this out. So this sign here is outside of Hickory Hill Boat Ramp at Falls Lake. We're usually able to go live right from the boat ramp, but we can't this morning because it's closed due to the low water level. This Sky 5 video shows the dry conditions at Falls Lake earlier this month. Ed Butkin with Raleigh Water says they've had more violations lately since Stage 1 water restrictions were implemented. That's because they have more staff monitoring in the field and they're pulling meter records for irrigation accounts. Butkin says he expects this will be the most serious drought this area has ever had.
We need it to rain in Durham, Granville County, and the northern part of Wake County to make an impact. It really needs to rain in the right place and ideally for a long period of time.
The new drought monitor is due this morning at 9 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at Falls Lake.
Today, Carytown Council will vote on a $573 million budget, and the proposal includes higher property taxes for residents. Let's go ahead and bring in Allie Calabar. She joins us live from Carytown Hall to talk more about this. Allie, many residents are not happy with this tax hike.
Yeah, Kristen, earlier this month, you might remember we saw several Cary residents outside Town Hall waving signs and protesting that increased tax rate. They say that it's already hard, that the cost of living is already a challenge, and now with higher taxes, it would just make it worse.
Right now, property owners in Cary are paying 34 cents per $100. That's $2,040 for a $600,000 home. The proposed tax rate is 37.5 cents. That would be $2,250 for the same home. Compared to nearby communities, Cary's property tax would be one of the highest, with Raleigh's at 37.2 cents and Holly Springs with a 34.35 cent tax rate. We spoke with a resident who wants to see it stay affordable.
I think there's some good and bad to it. It's fun to have parks and, all the fun things going on, but I would think that there would be more income coming in with all of this, so that maybe they wouldn't need to do that, just to keep it more, affordable for families in the area too.
Cary Town Council will be meeting during their regularly scheduled meeting. They'll be voting on the budget at 6:30 tonight. And the next half hour, we're going to talk about how the interim town manager says this new budget would increase and improve transparency and consistency with public funds. We're reporting live in Cary, Ali Kathabar, WRAL News.
Raleigh police are working to make an arrest after a shooting in a parking lot early this morning. The WRAL breaking news tracker was at that scene on Western Boulevard near Buck Jones Road. This was around 2:30 this morning. Investigators say there were several bullets that hit a parked car just after 1 this morning, but at last check, no injuries reported.
People who've been living with contaminated drinking water along the Cape Fear River for years say a new settlement with the federal government falls far short. The settlement is with the company Chemours over chemicals that were discharged into the river from its Fayetteville plant. The PFAS, or so-called forever chemicals, have been linked to a number of diseases, including cancer. People who live near the plant say the agreement will not do enough to fix the problem.
As far as I'm concerned, they need to shut down the plant. They need to shut down anything that causes pollution until they can come up with a solution.
It may do something, but from a groundwater well property owner, it doesn't do anything for us. Nothing.
The EPA calls the settlement a landmark deal that holds polluters accountable. Attorney General Jeff Jackson is pursuing a separate state-level case against Chemours over PFAS contamination.
Nash County is the latest county to start a conversation about data center development. More than 24 North Carolina communities have adopted moratoriums or zoning restrictions. Nash County isn't on that list, but instead it's working to put standards in place that data center developers would have to meet. And the goal is to make sure there is strict scrutiny regarding them.
Other places have chosen to do that through a moratorium, and while that remains on the table here, our choice of strategy right now is to adopt regulatory tools that make sure that they would only be the right fit in the right place.
Now, last check, no data centers are currently proposed in Nash County. You can actually watch our previous coverage of data centers on the WRAL YouTube channel. You'll find all of our stories, including data centers' effect on North Carolina, how they stay cool, and the effect they can have on water demand.
Republicans in the North Carolina House have overridden 4 vetoes from Democratic Governor Josh Stein. They are pushing through major policy changes on immigration and education. 3 of the bills are now law after also clearing the Senate. They require state and local agencies to cooperate more closely with federal immigration authorities. They also ban diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across public schools and universities. Governor Stein says lawmakers should be focused on passing a budget instead.
Well, today, pro softball takes the field at the DBAP. What you're seeing right now is a live look there at the stadium where the Carolina Blaze start a 3-game series tonight. The Blaze will play the Utah Talons tonight through Saturday, and there will be a pregame citywide block party happening to celebrate the Blaze's inaugural season. Those will be at EO's Athletic Club, Luna, Primrose, and Bull McCabe's at 5 p.m. WRAL caught up with the team, and they say they are excited about the growth of pro softball in the Triangle.
It's just a testament to the growth of the softball community, putting ourselves in a minor league stadium. That's unreal. I'm sure the stands are going to be packed body to body, and we just can't wait to get out and play in front of our fans.
And first pitch is at 7 o'clock. Coming up on WRAL News later on Fox 50, Blaze coach Kara Dill joins us for a live interview. And there's another World Cup triple header later today on Fox 50. At 4 o'clock, Ecuador plays Germany. At 7, it's Japan versus Sweden. And Team USA is back on the pitch tonight. They've already clinched their spot in the round of 32. Tonight at 10, they wrap up group stage play with a match against Turkey.
Election officials reprimanded. A fight over ballots cast by voters who later died is back in the spotlight. Why 2 Wake County election officials are not being removed despite the criticism.
Plus, Great American Kickoff. A giant state fair is happening in D.C. ahead of America's 250th birthday. What President Donald Trump has to say about this major milestone.
Heading out the door to walk the dog, it still feels nice out there. Humidity relatively low. Temperatures are comfortable in the mid-60s. But as we get closer to the afternoon, you'll notice it's hotter and we have more storms in the forecast in the next several days. We'll walk through that coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13. It is a beautiful sunrise out there. We have some high thin cloud cover, and as that sun is coming up, it's making those nice reflections of color on the bottoms of the clouds. This, of course, is Pittsboro, right here by the beautiful courthouse. Temperatures are feeling nice and comfortable. 55 in Roanoke Rapids, and we're in the 50s up near the Virginia line. 66 in Fayetteville, but 61 in the Southern Pines. 62 in Wilson. 63 in Goldsboro. It feels a lot like it did yesterday morning with the nice low humidity and cool temperatures. But this afternoon, definitely going to feel hotter. If you want to get outside for some exercise, I would do it before lunchtime. At noon, we'll be in the mid 80s. Still not bad, but low 90s for highs later on this afternoon, which is a good bit hotter than what we saw yesterday. Even hotter for Friday and Saturday, and we see an increased chance for storms. I'll show you when we have the chance of some severe weather coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We just have first responders working a crash at Yonkers and New Bern, not picking up any delays in the area. If you're coming in from Holly Springs or the Fuquay Arena area right now, those routes are delay-free. 401 Main Street, North Judge Parkway, all delay-free, which is really good news. For you folks coming in from the Garner, Johnston County area, Highway 70, I-40 westbound, all delay-free right now. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. 2 members of the Wake County Board of Elections will keep their seats after an inquiry into how they handled the votes of 3 people who died before Election Day in 2024. The voters had cast their ballots early, and the board members ruled to still allow those votes. Jerry Cohen and Greg Flynn were given a reprimand by the State Board of Elections after a 6-hour hearing yesterday. State law requires county officials to remove deceased voters from the rolls. It does not specify what to do with ballots that were legally cast by someone who dies before Election Day. While both men were apologetic, they were adamant that this was their interpretation of the law.
We're trying to protect the vote. These people cast their votes deliberately knowing that they were in the last stages of their lives. Those votes were cast, and as soon as they were cast, they were sacred. And we have a duty to treat those votes as sacred as any other vote.
Both Flynn and Cohen will be allowed to finish their terms.
President Donald Trump says that he will not sign the bipartisan affordable housing bill that passed both houses of Congress, and he's refusing to do it until the Senate passes his Save America Act. You see, the housing bill encourages new home construction and forbids large investors from buying most of them. President Trump was expected to sign that bipartisan bill into law yesterday. Well, as for the Save America Act, that would require voters to provide proof of citizenship in person before they can vote. The House passed that bill, but it's hitting a roadblock in the Senate.
America 250 celebrations are ramping up in Washington, D.C. President Trump kicked off the Great American State Fair on the National Mall last night. The fair marks the launch of the Trump administration's 16-day Freedom 250 celebration. This is a series of events that will include exhibits and activities across the country, all leading up to July 4th. During his remarks, the president talked about looking forward to the future.
This anniversary is a time to be proud of our past, but it is also a time to lift our sights, expand our ambitions, and raise our expectations of what America can be. We will leave our children nothing less than the richest inheritance, most advanced civilization, and highest standard of living in human history.
The president also highlighted what he sees as major accomplishments during his second term. Those include the peace negotiations with Iran and the dismantling of DEI initiatives. He also repeated his claims of vandalism during the renovations at the D.C. reflecting pool. The Great American State Fair runs through July 10th.
Swinging over to the WRAL Severe Weather Center with Elizabeth Gardner this morning. You know, we saw some rain this week. Awesome. We need more, but today it looks like it's not going to be as robust as we are seeing the next couple of days.
You know, that front that brought us the rain delivered such a gorgeous day yesterday. So no rain behind it today, but it does start to get a little hotter. And then our next weather maker is moving across the Midwest right now. So we will see another chance for rain starting tomorrow. And here's what it looks like. We have a 40% chance on Friday, a 50% chance on Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday, we may actually end up with the potential for some severe storms. Temperatures will be much hotter, too. We take a look at what's happening with that next weather maker. When that next cold front arrives, again, it's going to interact with more moisture that streams in over the next couple of days, and we should see some heavy downpours. Saturday, we could even see the potential for some isolated severe weather. Let's jump ahead to Friday. Today will be nice and quiet, but we'll see increasing clouds in the afternoon on Friday. Now, for some people, Friday kicks off that week-long vacation of the week of July 4th. So there may be a lot of people traveling on Friday. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon with scattered storms, and there's 6 o'clock. And if this doesn't change in terms of the timeline, it's probably going to be travel to the beach, which is, I think, where a lot of people end up going, that you may run into some of the scattered storms. But right now, it looks like mainly afternoon, early evening. On Saturday, here's 9 a.m., a little bit of cloud cover. Once again, same kind of timeline. Looking at afternoon, this may last a little longer into the evening, but really, once we get to sunset, it looks like most of those storms die out. And then we will rinse and repeat again for Sunday. Look at that, late afternoon showers and thunderstorms. You know, the pattern with thunderstorms, though, is not widespread rain. It's patches here and there, but at least we'll get 3 chances over the weekend. Our severe threat on Saturday does cover the entire state. And again, a level 1 risk means that maybe there are just a handful of storms that could produce some wind damage. Right now, there's no severe wet for Friday or severe threat for Friday or Sunday, but we'll keep an eye on it. The other thing we're going to see is some really hot temperatures Friday and Saturday. Rainfall total so far, this may be, I'm hoping, a little underdone. I think probably somewhere between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. But again, you know, with thunderstorms, it's never equitable. Our drought monitor comes out today. A lot of our viewing area under that exceptional drought. I don't think that it'll get any worse. We do have that rain that we saw on Tuesday that should go into the drought monitor. We'll let you know how it looks coming up. Definitely hotter Friday, looking at 95, and our temperatures will be in the upper 90s also for the next several days after that into the weekend. So it's going to be another hot one, Ken.
Summertime in North Carolina. So listen, here's what you can expect heading out. Here's a live look at I-440 Ridge Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us, and as we widen out the view of that northern loop, we're picking up very little to no delays from the I-40, 440, 87 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue. That's a crash on Yonkers and Newburgh, not really causing any problems for you this morning, but we're not picking up any delays on any of the major routes coming in from Wake Forest, Knightdale. You're coming in from Apex, all delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Avoiding wedding scams, from lost money to missing photos. 5 on Your Side takes a deeper look at the cons that are plaguing the wedding industry.
Plus, deepening drought. This ongoing dry spell is having an effect on the state's wildlife. How one species in particular is struggling right now. So the hot and dry conditions are having an effect on wildlife in North Carolina. North Carolina's wildlife says that rehabilitators have taken in 10 hawks that are dead or near death because of malnutrition. It's one of several species struggling during this dry spell, and it's getting worse as the season goes on.
It's not that they're more susceptible, it's just because of the food source that they rely on. We're seeing other species that rely on vegetation for their primary food source, and the food source just is not growing, or it's in a state of dormancy because of the dry weather, so there's not a good source of nutrition for them. So the fact that hawks, we're seeing some of those, it's not just because it's a hawk, it's just because it is a predator that's relying on those species that rely on that vegetation.
Certainly sounds like a disruption of the food chain in that regard. And if you find an animal in distress, you can contact a wildlife rehabilitator. In fact, there's a list of those on ncwildlife.gov.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
Dolly Parton's newest business venture, and more rumors about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding.
Oh boy, people want to know what's going on. We have Ken Smith here to talk about it and what's trending.
Yes, Swifties want to know. People want to know as well when and where Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are getting married. The newest speculation is at Madison Square Garden. A New York City official says a company known for planning weddings submitted a permit application for an event. The permit would allow nearly 1,000 people to gather under a tent or canopy outside Madison Square Garden.
Neither Swift nor Kelce's name is on that permit, and of course, no details about their wedding have been released yet. They should just get married in the courthouse.
Yeah. I feel like every time there's a tent somewhere, people think, oh, must be Travis and Taylor, but it's like,
So, Dolly Parton's newest business venture officially opened for business in Tennessee. The music legend helped cut the ribbon at Dolly's Tennessean travel stop. It's in Cornersville, about an hour south of Nashville.
And this actually is a pretty rare public appearance for her because she had those reported health problems not long ago. But she said she wanted to open the truck stop because she couldn't leave it to beavers. Love the reference.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if she gave impromptu concerts and that would beat any brisket sandwiches or beaver nuggets?
There you go.
That's the draw.
You tell them, Dolly.
Although I will take a brisket sandwich. Your time is 6:26. We're talking about this drought update, folks. Today, we're getting a new look at the dry conditions across our state. What the Raleigh area is looking for in order for things to improve.
Transparency questions. Carytown leaders are meeting to vote on the budget today. The concerns on people's minds after the resignation of the town manager last year.
Turning a bit hotter today, making it a good day to head to the pool with highs in the low 90s and little chance for thunderstorms. That does change over the weekend. We'll walk through the timeline for some storms coming up.